Am I sharp? Let's get used to speaking English again, oh yeah. Hello people, today I want to talk about the time that I met my favorite band, 21 Pilots. I've been wanting to make this video for quite some time now, but then yesterday I was just browsing through my laptop and I found a video. When I found out that I would meet my favorite band, I recorded myself because I thought it would be funny to look back on my reaction and always cry when I watched the video. I totally forgot about the video, and then yesterday, as I said, I found it again. That was the sign that the universe gave me to finally make a video about the meet and greet with 21 Pilots. First of all, I just want to give you a little bit of background information on how and when I got into the band. The first time I heard of 21 Pilots was in 2014 when I was watching The Voice of Germany, and there was one candidate, and in the blind auditions she was singing a song by Paramore. I just really liked her looks and how she dressed and her hair and everything, and then she was singing Paramore and I was like,
oh, that's my girl.
And then in another round she was singing House of Gold by 21 Pilots. I've never heard of the band before, but then she was singing that song and I was like,
that girl has a good taste in music. Maybe I should check the band out.
So I went on YouTube and I just watched a few videos. If you know me, you know that I'm really afraid of masks. The first video that I saw was Car Radio and he puts on that mask and everything is just crazy, and I was like,
this is not what I expected.
The first song I heard was House of Gold when the girl was singing it. And then I jumped right into Car Radio and I was like,
oh gosh.
And then I watched, I think, Guns for Hands and Holding On To You. I was like,
oh, I've never heard something like that. It's kind of cool, but I'm also kind of scared.
I just moved on and I didn't really think about that band for a long time. Then, as some of you might know, I was living in the United States for a year, and I was living in Pennsylvania, and one of the radio channels there is 104.5, Philadelphia's Alternative. And every time I forgot my iPod at home, I was listening to that radio station in the car. One time I can remember I was driving, or my friend was driving, I don't know, I can remember us being in the car, and then Stressed Out came on, and I have never heard the song before, and as I said, I didn't listen to 21 Pilots for 1.5 years. Somehow it sounded so familiar to me. The voice or the genre, I don't know, I felt like I've heard that before. And then while the song was playing, I asked my friend,
is that 21 Pilots?
And then she was like, I don't know that band. But then the song was over and then the radio host was like, yeah, that was Stressed Out by 21 Pilots. How did I know this? I was like,
wow, that song was really cool.
So I went home and I got on YouTube again and I gave 21 Pilots another try. And then from that moment on, I was kind of obsessed. I was listening to all of their songs. I was watching every interview and every Vine on YouTube. Of course, I was also looking up if they were touring at the moment, and I found out that they are actually gonna play in New Jersey in June, which was pretty close to where I lived. And I also found out that the show was on a Saturday, which meant that I could probably go. And then I found out that the show was already sold out. Of course, I was pretty sad, but then shortly afterwards, they announced that they are gonna tour in Europe as well. And by the time they were touring in Europe, I was already back at home in Austria. So the moment the tickets went on sale for Vienna, I obviously bought them, and I think that was around May. The show in Vienna was gonna be in November, and I was so excited, but I don't know, I got so obsessed with that band. I didn't want to wait 6 or 7 months longer. I just wanted to see them now. I wanted to see them next month when they're playing an hour away from me. So I looked for tickets for the New Jersey show again, and I don't know how that happened, but there were tickets available again. It was so weird. I don't know, because the whole thing was sold out. I asked some friends and then one of them actually said that she would go with me, and I saw 21 Pilots live for the first time. I actually made a video about that if you want to watch it. It was such a perfect night. Like, the show was incredible. 21 Pilots is such a good live band. Time passed, I was back in Austria, I moved to Vienna, and I was so ready for the concert in November. And what was really cool was that I went there with two of my au pair friends. It was just so cool to see our favorite band live and have a little au pair reunion as well on the same weekend. And the weeks before the concert, all three of us were constantly participating in all kinds of contests to win meet and greet tickets. And then I think a few days before the concert, I came across another contest and I told my friends about it. The concert was on a Saturday, and 2 days before the show, on Thursday night, I was sitting in a tram, and then suddenly Caro, one of my friends, texted me. The radio station that hosted the meet and greet called her and said if she will pick up her phone tomorrow morning, then she will win meet and greet tickets. And we were kind of freaking out. Of course, I was a little bit jealous of her, but I was, of course, also very happy for her. But then she told us that she could bring one person with her. Of course, I wanted her to pick me, as selfish as it sounds, but I don't know, I just felt really bad for Tammy as well. But then Tammy was like, pick Simi, she deserves it. And also Kara said that I was the one telling them about the contest, so she picked me. I was like, oh gosh, but Simi, stay calm. Please don't get too excited. You don't want to keep your hopes up and then get disappointed. The radio station told her that they're gonna call around 6:30 a.m. And I also set a few alarms just to mentally support her and also make sure that she's awake by that time. So we both set like 500 alarms. That's a picture that she sent us, but my screen looked pretty similar. So I woke up the next morning. I just listened to the radio and I waited until she got the call. So I filmed myself in bed, and I'm already apologizing for what you're about to see, because just a little reminder, it was 6:30 a.m. I was still in bed and I was about to win meet and greet tickets with my favorite band. Have fun.
The Sound of Silence von Disturbed dauert 4 Minuten 07 Sekunden. Dann greifen wir zum Telefon und überraschen irgendeine Gewinnerin oder einen Gewinner. Und los geht's.
It's 21 Pilots!
Noch näher an die Superstars. Morgen das knackvolle Ö3-Konzert der 21 Pilots in der Wiener Stadthalle. In den Tagen haben wir nach würdigen Gewinnern gesucht. Ich drücke jetzt auf den Knopf. Die Nummer wird gewählt. Es läutet. Na gut, Sie sind selbst, ne?
Hallo?
Ja, hallo. Robert Gradke und das Ö3-Wecker-Team.
Hey. Hallo?
Spreche ich mit Caroline?
Genau, das bin ich.
Du hast uns geschrieben, ich lese hier im Computer, ich kann seit Monaten über niemand anderen mehr reden als über 21 Pilots. Liebes Ö3, mach meine Traumwahl. Gut, pass auf, red doch nicht über die 21 Pilots, red mit den 21 Pilots.
Das ist der größte Traum, der Gott wahr wird.
Das wird's gerade wahr.
Oh, danke.
Sagt Josh und Tyler lieben Gruß von uns.
Lösch alle Fotos von deinen Smartphones. Du musst 3 Millionen Handys Fotos machen. 3 Millionen Selfies, mindestens.
Viel Spaß.
Yeah, pretty intense. The whole day I was really nervous, and I even wrote stuff down that I want to ask them or that I want to talk about with them. And then in the afternoon, my friend Tammy arrived from Germany, and we all went shopping together and we bought some presents until, I don't know, like 2 a.m. or something. We made t-shirts for them. I can show you here. We made You Got Banana t-shirts. The next morning we arrived at the venue at around 8 a.m. and we waited in the cold for around 12 hours, but it was such a great time. All the people that were waiting there were just so nice. We were singing and playing the ukulele with them, and we were sharing blankets and food. The clique members are just such nice people, and it was a pleasure spending 12 hours in the cold with them. Then at 4 p.m., so right in the middle of that 12-hour waiting time, my friend and I, we had to go to the back of the venue. There was a whole camera and film team of the radio station, and they wanted to do an interview. And they said that they just want to ask a little bit about the band. For example, what the makeup that Tyler puts on his neck and his hands mean. And nobody really wanted to do it because there were more people. We were, I think, 6 or 7 people who want to meet and greet, and nobody of them wanted to do it. And I know what the makeup means, so I was like, okay, sure, I can do it, I can answer that question. But then as soon as they started filming me, I was so nervous. Like the whole time before, obviously I was nervous because it was right before we met the band, and then they put the camera in front of me and hold the microphone, like, answer this question. And I don't know, I got even more nervous, and then I couldn't talk anymore. And I can't remember what I told them, what the neck and hand thing means, but all I can remember is that it was complete bullshit. After the interview, I was so embarrassed that I begged the whole film team not to get the interview out in this world. I didn't want anyone to see it. So we were waiting for the band, and I can remember my friend and we were constantly talking about that we're not gonna behave like crazy fangirls. We were like, no, we're just gonna stay cool. It's all gonna be fine. But we were so nervous. We were the total fangirls. Like, we started crying a little bit even before we met the band. And yeah. So we were waiting. It was like backstage kind of, but not in their dressing room or anything. It was just, I don't know, an ugly long hallway, and the hallway was divided by like a huge door, and the door was open, but we couldn't really see to the other side of the hallway. And we were all standing in line waiting, and then suddenly we heard Tyler and Josh talking, and we were like, okay, stay calm, stay calm, stay calm. The moment I stepped inside that other side of the hallway, everything just felt like a dream. And I know this is what everybody says when they're talking about stuff like that. For me, it just felt like I was really drunk, and I just let things happen around me, but I couldn't really do anything by myself. And I can remember Tyler and Josh standing on the right side of me, and a man with a camera standing on the left side, and then in front of me there was a guy coming to me and taking away my presents, and he said something like they have to check it before they give it to Tyler and Josh. I was just standing there and I didn't know what I should do, and then I don't know why, but in my head, when I imagined this situation, I always hugged Josh first and then Tyler. So this is so stupid. I was just standing there, and I think I looked really confused and overwhelmed. By the way, I didn't even say hi to them, okay? Then just in the right corner of my eye, I saw Tyler expanding his arms and wanting to give me a hug. And because I didn't imagine the situation being like that I hugged Tyler first, I just turned away from Tyler and walked up to Josh and hugged Josh first. Josh said something like, hi, how are you? It's nice to meet you. I think I just said like, I'm fine, thanks, and hugged him. And I don't know about you, but for me personally, how a person smells is really important. I didn't really have to smell Josh because he was smelling so good and so intense, like a freshly showered or freshly shaved man, you know, like the typical aftershave man shower gel smell, if that makes sense. Yeah, I hugged Josh, and then I finally went to hug Tyler, and Tyler didn't really smell that intense. It's so stupid, but I can remember just me hugging him, and I just pushed my nose really hard into his hoodie, and he was wearing this yellow hoodie that looks so freaking cozy, and I just pushed my nose on his shoulder and smelled like yeah, Tyler smells like, or on that day, I don't know how he usually smells, but on that day he smelled like just regular clothes, if you know what I mean. Like, I think just, yeah, like every piece of clothing smells. And then I went between them, and the guy with the camera took a photo of us, and then it was already time to go, and I walked towards the door, and then I can just hear Josh saying like, have fun at the show tonight, and I was already walking and I just heard it like an echo inside of my head, and I think I just turned around like, thanks. And I walked out. Then I met my friend Caro and we just hugged and we cried. And after my friend and I calmed down a little bit and stopped crying, we walked back to the front of the venue. Then they let us into the venue and we had the best night of our lives. We had pretty good spots. We were in the wave breaker area and we were pretty close to the stage. You know, at the end when they're playing Trees and then Josh is on the left side of the stage and Tyler is on the right side of the stage in the crowd, and they're drumming on that one big drum and the whole confetti is everywhere. When that happened, I was right in between of Josh and Tyler, and it was such a magical moment. You know that scene from Harry Potter, the fourth movie, Goblet of Fire, when in the end scene, or one of the end scenes, Harry is fighting against Voldemort. Between their wands is this lightning thing. I felt like I was in between both of their wands, which sounds weird, but not that there was good fighting against bad, but there was just positive energy streaming through my body. Then the concert was over and my friends and I just hugged each other and cried. That was it. There are two more things that I want to talk about today. The first thing is, on the next day, on Sunday night, Panic at the Disco, one of my favorite bands, played a show in Vienna as well. When I found out about the concert, the tickets were already sold out. It freaked me out so much that shortly before the concert, I started looking for tickets again and again and again, and I found somebody on Facebook who sold tickets, and I wrote that person and I was like, yeah, can I please have the tickets, blah blah blah, and can you please send me a photo of the tickets because I want to make sure that they're real. I sent that person the money for 2 tickets, which wasn't really that cheap, and I never got the tickets. I always thought of myself that things like that will never happen to me because I'm pretty careful when it comes to stuff like that and sending people money. I just wanted to try everything that I could possibly do to get tickets for Panic at the Disco, and then I never received the tickets. But I strongly believe the reason why I or my friend won the meet and greet is because I didn't get the Panic at the Disco tickets. This is one thing that I just wanted to share with you. And the other thing is actually for people who really wish to meet their favorite band, whoever it is. I never thought that I would meet them, ever. Of course, I dreamt about it. Dreamed. See what I did there? And I don't know how it is with other bands, because I know that 21 Pilots used to just hang out with their fans after a show. This is not the case. So as I said, it was basically, I don't know, 20 or 30 seconds that I was with them. And as I already told you, I wrote stuff down that I want to talk with them about. But then, first of all, I was too nervous to even say hello. Secondly, there was no time at all to even talk with them. For me, it meant everything in the world to meet them and hug them. But if you look at the whole thing objectively, I wasn't able to really talk with them about topics that are important to me. And also, my plan was to, if there's no time to talk with them about specific topics, then I just wanted to thank them for their music. But I wasn't even physically able to do that because I was that nervous. If you haven't gotten the chance to meet your favorite band in person, or if you believe that you will never ever meet them like I did, don't be sad. Things like that usually happen when you least expect them, and the chances are pretty high that it won't be as you have ever imagined it to be. I don't want to destroy your dreams right now. It was still one of the best days of my life, but I just want to keep it real and be honest with you. So yeah, that was the video for today. I hope you liked it. As I'm back in Austria again and I don't have any plans to go abroad anytime soon, unfortunately, there will be no videos about being abroad or living abroad or working abroad for the next time. I also have one other story that I'm really excited to share with you because it's one of the craziest things that have ever happened to me. If you want to see more of that, then you can subscribe here, and I'm really excited to see you very soon in another video, whatever that will be. Goodbye!